2 years ago at this panel. Do you remember when I said before the panel started that my son had just been born and I wanted everyone to say, "Hey, Remy"?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My daughter Violet is going to be born in 5 days. On the count of 3, say, "Hey, Violet," on the count of 3. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Violet! Awesome! Yay!
It's all about me. Yeah, really. Am I waiting for an introduction or am I already here? I can't remember. Okay, so you know who I am. Okay, I'm Brian Nevsky from Walt Disney Imagineering. I did a panel earlier and I didn't introduce myself. They didn't know who I was, so I thought you guys would be interested. Well, welcome. For those of you who don't know, the Voices of the Parks. This is the second time we've got to do this fantastic panel, and I am delighted to say that you are at the True Legend ceremony. It's absolutely, yeah, you've got some wonderful people here. So if you recall, 2 years ago, we introduced the panel by playing a little video of audio of what they have done in the parks, so you don't just look at them blankly. So I'm going to, and as usual, I'm prepared with my clipboards. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce the panel by introducing them vocally and hopefully visually, if this works. So, ready? Yeah? Okay. Yeah? Okay. Here we go. Teacher Reneday.
Greetings aboard the Astro Arbiter. For your safety, intergalactic regulations require that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the rocket ship. And please, watch your children.
Wait, it gets better. Come on.
Okay, boys, take it easy. Now we're ready to start. I'll be right with you. Give me a little intro there, Gomer. Howdy, folks. Welcome to the one and only original country Bear Jamboree. Just refrain from hibernating, and we'll all enjoy the show, because we've got a lot to give.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Reneday. So well so far. Okay, here we go. Another one.
Stay away from the landed place. You must beware the fox is there. Don't go in.
Wait a minute, wait. Do it.
You must beware the fox is there. Don't go in. The fox has got his way in the landing place this very day.
BJ Ward! Love my job, I really do. Here we go. Let's see if the audio plays. Oh, wait. Where's the audio? Darn it. Hold on. Yeah, we already did that.
Stay You must be
Wait a minute. Don't do that. I swear to you, there's audio that goes. Wait. He can't do it live, I didn't bring the script. Well, had that played, it would have been the voice of Lord Henry Mystic from Mystic Manor. His name is Stephen Stanton, and he's right there.
Greetings, I am Lord Henry Mystic, the proprietor and owner of Mystic Manor in Hong Kong, Disneyland.
That's about it. Okay. Well, anyway, so much for that. It was really good. You would have liked it. Okay. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll play with the next one. I am not sophisticated. Okay.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo y cuide a los pequeñitos. Y ahora, prepárese.
Fabio Rodriguez. There's his name. Okay. Right.
One stormy night long ago, that door is opening once again. But this time, it's opening for you.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Hi there, it's your friend, Timothy Mouse. As you know, Dumbo is a real high flyer. So as to make your flight a safe one, be sure to stay seated with your seatbelt fastened, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside. And for all you grown-up types, be sure to watch your kids.
Chris Edgerly. That's right. They already met you. I forgot earlier on. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Hola. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga sus manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Cuide a los pequeñitos. Esté alerta. Quizás vea al conejo blanco.
Yeni Alveraz. Now, I have to tell you candidly, where to go? So Corey Burton, if you notice there's an empty chair, because Corey got lost coming to Disneyland, which is ironic considering how many voices he does for the park. He will be coming eventually, but I thought until he gets here, I was going to play what I was going to play for him. So here's Corey.
'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a place that perhaps you've seen in your dreams. For the story that you are about to be told began with the holiday worlds of old. I know you're curious to see what's inside. It's what happens when two holidays collide.
All right. It's like he's there. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, later today, we're delighted to present the Pixar Play Parade, starring all your favorite Disney Pixar pals. Come join us along the parade route later today and help us count down to fun.
Camille Dixon. There it is. I just got worried for a second. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, later today, Disneyland will proudly present our music in motion extravaganza, Mickey's Sensational Parade. Feel the energy and excitement as Mickey Mouse and a score of Disney characters bring sensational rhythms to life. Be sure to join us later today for Mickey's Sensational Parade.
And so, this is the voices of the panel. Ladies and gentlemen. So I can put the garage door open or away. I don't have to use it anymore, thank God. So anyway, I'm going to introduce you to each one of them individually, and hopefully we'll have some time for them to do a live read. It is similar to what Stephen just did, but something different. I want to talk for a minute about Peter Reneday, who you just heard doing the bear from Country Bear Jamboree, and I'm with you, they should bring it back. Yeah. So it does play, but Peter, can you tell me, because do we have a microphone over here? Hey, someone give me a mic. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's on. So Peter, you are the one person on the panel who has actually met Walt Disney. Could you just tell me
That's because I'm the oldest person.
Well, still. You started, tell us what year you started with the company.
I started in 1959. It was a very good year. And Walt was there, you know, for 7 years while I was still working there. And it was a different atmosphere, completely. We worked, I was in the art props department, and they'd send us to Disneyland to do touch-up paint work and do signs, and this was long before I got into the voiceover end of things. But I was saying to my niece coming over here, yeah, we used to say, oh, we better get started. Gotta leave about 9:30 when there's no traffic to get to Disneyland from Burbank. Doesn't apply anymore. But it was exciting being there. In fact, strangely enough, ironically enough, the first person that I saw, the day I was hired, I thought, well, someday I may actually get to see Walt Disney. And I walked into the animation building, and there he was, coming out. And I'd been told, oh, we call him Walt. And I thought, yeah, I can't do that. He said, good morning. And he said, oh. But it was something special in those days, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Can you tell me, how did you get the job on Country Bear? How did that come about?
Country Bear, well, I was part of a group at the studio called the Disney Players. And we did one play in the theater every year, with the proceeds going to the John Tracy Clinic, which was one of Walt's favorite charities. And they saw me in the plays, and somebody got the idea, oh, I guess we could use this guy for something here and there. And they started doing little voiceover things for me, little narration jobs, then some for the park. I did Mark Twain for the Mark Twain boat, and what else? Well, Country Bear, of course. Later on, Lincoln for the Hall of Presidents. But the voiceover things kept coming in, and finally I decided, wait a minute, I can make a living doing this, can't I? So that's how I got started, with the Disney Players. Yeah.
Wow, and fantastic. Thank you, Peter. Now, BJ Ward, right next to Peter over there. I have to tell you that, you know, when I was going through the files and finding out how many different attractions these people have been on, every other file was BJ Ward, BJ Ward, BJ Ward, BJ Ward. BJ, you've done a lot of attractions, and I was so thrilled to bring the Burroughs Rabbit from Splash Mountain. I mean, that's like, to me, very, very Disney, and I was so thrilled that that's you.
Yeah, I had never heard any of that, because when you do recording sessions, you just do it, they don't play it back for you. So I know I did some singing possums,
you did, right,
and rabbits, and a couple of other things.
Yeah, you were also at Kitchen Cabaret for Epcot. I mean, you've done a lot of singings. How did you get involved with working for Disney to start with?
I think I just had an audition many years ago when I first started, and I just had a very high, light voice. My voice was kind of like, hi, welcome to Denny's. That was kind of where my voice was pitched. So I only did one thing, hi, welcome to Denny's. And they had me read for something, and it was sort of, hi, welcome to the Magic Kingdom, and it was that smiley, nice Disney sound. And I'd worked for several of the composers, the Sherman Brothers, who wrote It's a Small World, and the Carousel of Progress thing I'd sung for them. And I had sung with George Wilkins, who wrote a lot of things here. And then I did some singing for Euro Disney in French, which was, my apologies to the French people right now.
have to tell you, she has got an enormously powerfully wonderful voice. You did stand-up opera, which was your one-woman show for a long time. The thing about working for us is that obviously that is not the thing you do all the time.
No, but that's what I like about working with voiceover people, because we all kind of come from different walks of the business. Some people come from radio, some people come from improv, some are actors, some and some people have other jobs, like they're biologists, and I mean, I just find it's an interesting group of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I've always been very happy to be called in to do anything.
We're delighted to have you. Thank you so much for coming today. Sitting next to BJ is Stephen Stanton, whose audio did not work. Sorry about that, Stephen. I know.
Imagineers, I don't know.
I didn't do it on purpose. Stephen is a wonderful VO artist. One voice he does particularly well is the voice of Rex Allen. And if you heard our carousel of our Imagineering entryway 2 years ago, that was Stephen doing the voice of Rex Allen. I have to ask you, because that's such a iconic Disney voice, was that one that just came naturally, or did you develop it after watching Disney movies all the years, or?
Well, I grew up in part of Florida called Tampa, and very close to Walt Disney World, so I think people talk a little bit like that down in that area, like I'm doing right now, although I don't really talk like that very much. But yeah, it was, and watching all the old, the nature films back in the day, you know, the hound that thought he was a raccoon, and Charlie the lonesome cougar, and Beaver, whatever, I don't know, Beaver meets the cougar, and I don't know, there's all kinds of mash up there, but yeah, so it came a little bit natural just from living in that part of the country.
And by the way, Stephen is the voice of the Mark Twain Streamboat, taken over from Pete. He's now the voice of Steve Stanton.
Right, I'm hoping everybody doesn't fall overboard, no smoking or fires on the deck. We have all those rules on there. That's right, anybody falling in.
That's right. How did you get your start in voiceover, Stephen?
Boy, that's a long...
Tell us the 30-second version.
I started just by, I think I really got involved in doing voiceover just by, you know, listening to cartoons as a kid and imitating all the voices, and then working, you know, in animation studios and trying to, you know, volunteering anytime they needed a scratch track, which is a temporary track, you know, when you're going to lay something down later, and it just kind of evolved out of that.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you. Good to have you.
Yes, sir.
So Fabio, as you heard from him, he is the voice of Hang on 1 second. We'll let you get situated. Have your fan club sit down. Oh, yeah, there you go. So Fabio, I want to talk to you about Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, because you do voices of both of those.
Oh, yes, it was a pleasure. Actually, I need to say something first, and that is that the reason why I started with Disney is because of the gentleman on the left, Mr. Bill Rogers. He discovered me. I was working on an industrial video for Xerox, and then when I finished, he was in the next door. He has a studio there, and he says, I heard your voice doing that thing. Wouldn't you like to audition for a Disney voice inside the park? And I said, are you kidding me? I go, no. So I go, you bet. And I did, then I got it. So what was the other question?
Well, no.
I just wanted to say that because he's not only my dear friend for at least 20 some years, well, a long time, but also he started actually.
Well, he's amazing. I wanted the question was about doing Haunted Mansion and Pirates, but you were telling me a story about when you actually heard yourself for the first time in the park.
Oh yeah, that, again, it involves Mr. Rogers, because my dream when I came to this country was to visit Disneyland. And I finally realized my dream in 1972. I was standing by myself on Main Street, and there was a castle. And then at 9 o'clock, I heard a voice in English say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 15 minutes, and I go like, holy moly, I love that voice. Someday, I'm gonna be standing in this same place and I'm gonna be listening to that announcement, but in my voice in Spanish. That was my dream and that was my goal. And here's the kicker. Exactly 30 years almost to the date, in 2002, I was standing in the same place, but this time with my wife and my youngest son, Alexander. We're standing in the same place, and then we heard Mr. Rogers first, and then I came, damas y caballeros, niños y niñas, dentro de 15 minutos, and then my son, Alexander, who is here, he goes, Dad, that's you. Yeah, and then a lot of people were, is that really you? And I go, yeah, they go, ah! Say, thank you very much. So that's the story. So it was my dream that became a reality.
Wow.
And I'm still in the park, thank God. And I hope I will stay.
And we're lucky to have you, Fabio.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, well.
Anybody want a microphone?
No. Mark has his own. Pass that.
Oh, yes.
So Mark Silverman, right there in the center, the voice of Rod Serling. You know, Mark, when did you, I have to ask you this, did you start off life sounding like Rod Serling, or is it just something you developed?
I did not. It was actually, it was sort of similar to my voice. It wasn't much of a stretch, where I can just kind of go into it like this with my real voice, and it seems to come in handy. It comes in handy most, listen, after doing this Rod Serling and Tower of Terror, everywhere I go, it just seems to happen. I like to go to Target and go to the elevator. But to ascend into the twilights. People in the elevator, they really don't know what to make of it. Some of them, they don't want to look, they don't it brings a little bit of Disney magic into everyone's life, just shopping at Target. It's great. I never really did the Rod Serling voice, but as a kid, I watched a lot of TV, and I was obsessed with TV and tape recorders. And I would tape, everything I would tape, I would just walk around the house just like at 10 years old going, Leave It to Beaver, starring Barbara Billingsley, Hugh Beaumont, Tony Dodd, and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. Would you believe I'm Maxwell Smalley from 86 The wonderful world of Disney. It's just everything I heard, I wanted to talk like, and I didn't know why. I just thought it might be fun someday. So I started imitating my teachers, which they didn't like. But I thought, everyone likes it except the teacher. That's what I thought was funny. And I just got into voiceover from that.
Yeah. Now, Chris Edgerly was the voice of Timothy Mouse. You just heard it a moment ago. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Brian.
Hello. Now the baby on the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. My wife's doing all the hard work.
Well, 5 days. So how did you end up getting into these kind of voices? Because you do such specific Disney voices.
Right. When I was growing up, I would go to the Hollywood Tower of Terror in Orlando, and I would hear that Rod Serling, and I would think, one day I'm going to grow up and I'm going to do the voice on that ride, and that job went to Mark Silverman, so fine, I'll do Timothy, great, I'll do him instead. I was a stand-up comic for years, and like Mark, I would do voices as a kid and make my friends laugh, and anything to get you out of real work, and I gravitated into stand-up comedy. I did the road for about 10 years, and Pat Brady, my agent, and one of my agents, the reason I have a career, she helped me get off the road and just do voiceover full time, and one of the first jobs I remember getting was to be Timothy. So replacing somebody from 60 years ago was kind of surreal.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think that I'd be able to connect with that, but I did.
Do you ever stand outside the attraction and just mouth the words?
Until the court asked me not to. Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Present to everybody. So, Yeni Alveraz, who is sitting next to Chris right over there.
Hola.
The voice, yeah, hello. She's the voice of Alice in Wonderland, but I have to tell you, I made a list of all the voices that she does. So, she does, let's say, Flicks Flyers, Alice in Wonderland, Tuck and Rolls Driving Buggies, Jumpin' Jellyfish, the Parking Lot Trams, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority in Florida, Studio Tram Tour in Florida, Gadget's Go Coaster, and It's a Small World. All one person. So, Yeni, how did you get your start in voiceover?
I think I'm a very lucky person. I've always been an actress and I love cartoons. When I was a little kid, I thought cartoons were real. Go figure. At one point, voiceover is a really large part of being an actor. And I wanted to get into animation, not only voiceover radio commercials, but animations. And there was this casting director who was giving this phenomenal animation seminar at Walt Disney Imagineering. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was gonna get to be trained with this phenomenal casting director, Andrea Romano. She's done tons of things. And yay, somebody back there. And at Disney, and I walk in, we do everything, and Brian comes out and he says hello to everybody. In the meantime, my voiceover demo is playing in the background. And he looks at me and he says, that's great Spanish, you have a Disney voice. I didn't realize I had a Disney voice, but now I have a Disney voice. And he took my demo. From there, he called my agent and I auditioned, and the first time I walked into Walt Disney Imagineering, I remember, I hope I get It's a Small World, I hope I get It's a Small World. And I did, it was one of the first things I did about 12 years ago.
Wow, so I'm responsible for your career. Right? Okay, I'm going to skip over Corey because I don't think you're interested in him. No, that would be too bad. Hey, Corey. No,
hello.
I was going to skip over you, but I thought better of it. They're going to come and get me. How you doing today?
Well, I'm all right.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. We would have missed you had you not been here.
Yes.
For those
they tried to stop me.
Well,
I had a fire on the freeway and closed off ramps and.
Well, I did put out those thumbtacks. I'd hoped you'd run over, but you didn't. So Corey is another one, and everybody on this panel, by the way, I mean, I could not be here without them, but Corey, I'm just going to read you. I can't read you everything that Corey does in the parks. There's not enough time. But I'm going to tell you that Corey does, amongst other things, the Mickey's Fun Wheel, Silly Symphony Swings, It's Tough to Be a Bug, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway, The Parking Lot Trams, Grizzly Gulch, Tokyo Disney Seas, Mickey and the Sorcerer's Map, Downtown Disney Watercraft, Seven Dwarfs, Mine Train, Mad Cow, Teacups, Pitch and Counter. I can't read them all, there's not enough time. Corey is a one-man band here at Disney, and absolutely. It's true, and your agent isn't here, so I could say that. She'll never hear that I actually think so highly of you. Corey, could you please tell me, how did you get your start in voiceover?
Well, my very first job was for Disney. It was a school slide film. They were looking for the voice of Hans Conried, who played Captain Hook for Peter Pan film. But Hans Conried was out of town. Now, the great voice actor Dawes Butler, who I happen to know, knew that I did a very good likeness of Hans Conried's voice. He had me audition for this slide film, and in, what was it, 74 or 70? Yes. I played Professor Plumbottle in Chef Omelette's Health Diet. And now, 40 years later, I'm still doing Hans Conried's voice for Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Yeah.
It's, I always wanted to be a voice actor, and especially because of Disneyland. And it was Paul Frees who sort of united my and so I've been a fan of his voice from the adventure through inner space. And then finally, when the Haunted Mansion opened, I walked in the door and heard that voice and said, okay, I have to meet this man, and I want to work with him. I want to do that. And I set out to do it and never took no for an answer, even though I'm, painfully shy and dyslexic and Asperger's.
Well, while you were out, we played a little clip from the Nightmare Before Christmas holiday overlay for Haunted Mansion. And I think that he is a pretty darn good ghost host, don't you? I know, but still.
Yeah, thanks to everyone involved, and Seeley especially, and they just wove this illusion together with great engineering.
Yeah.
My little simulation.
Well, we've got it here only in California. Nobody else gets that one. It's ours, right? So Camille Dixon is, Camille Dixon. Mark will be right back.
Twilight's got a job to so he has to go do it live.
Lock the door. Camille Dixon at the other end of the panel. The voices you hear at California Adventure. Can you tell me, how did that end in your lap?
Well, like Fabio, I need to thank Bill Rogers for that, but maybe for different reasons. Bill he and I had worked together starting about 10 or 12 years ago, we're not sure, and when they were looking for a voice to do a couple of other things, like fill in for the Performing Arts Showcase at the Hollywood Backlot stage, the backup for the lady who was doing that, he suggested that they audition me, so I got the opportunity to do that. And then, as many of you know, for the last several years, Bill has also been the voice at Disney California Adventure. Then last year, about a week before the opening of Cars Land and Buena Vista Street, we had it on the calendar, expecting that Bill would be there for the press events. He gets a phone call saying, you know how we're opening Cars Land and Buena Vista Street next week? Yeah, I got it on the calendar, but when do you need me, what time, where should I be? What's Camille doing? So in one phone call, he's been replaced, and he is now my assistant. And he is also my loving husband, so he could not be more supportive. Thank you. Many men should take that very well, but he was very excited.
Wonderful. Thank you, Camille. So Bill, what did we talk about last time? How did you get started in this business?
13 years old, wanting to be a disc jockey. Wanted to play that rock and roll music on the radio. And when I found out that you could make commercials and play rock and roll music at the same time, I was hooked. That's all there was to it. And it really has been a whole lot of fun. I think last year we talked about how I got this gig, and I will just very quickly relate it to you that a great friend of mine recommended me for the role, asked me to come in and audition under strange auspices. I didn't know I was auditioning for anything. The person who auditioned me for the role, after a couple of takes, said, "We think you're going to be the right guy." And it was all over with. And I went, how did this happen? But it was all due to an incredibly good friend, and I have tried to pay it forward whenever possible.
Which you apparently have. Thank you, Bill. So now, if you remember last time, we had each one member of the panel read something live. So I thought we'd do it this time too. Hopefully we can make it all the way through. They're going to kick me out of here at 3 o'clock. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce, we're starting with our good friend Peter Reneday. Peter mentioned to you that he was the voice of Lincoln in the Hall of Presidents for many, many years. We only recently reverted back to our original Lincoln voice, but I'd love to have Peter read a little bit of the Lincoln speech for you so you can hear it here live. Could you do that for me? Thank you.
and with a tribute to Royal Dado. My Lincoln wasn't a copy of Royal's by any means, I couldn't do it, but it was certainly influenced by him because I admired his Lincoln so much. What constitutes the bulwark of our liberty and independence? It is not our frowning battlements, our bristling seacoasts, our army and navy. These are not our reliance against tyranny. Our reliance is in the love of liberty which God has planted in our bosoms. Our defense is in the spirit which prizes liberty as the heritage of all men, in all lands, everywhere. Destroy this spirit, and you have planted the seeds of despotism around your own doors. At what point, then, is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reaches, it must spring from amongst us. If destruction be our lot, we ourselves must be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all times or die by suicide. Let us have faith that right makes might. And in that faith, let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it.
So, thank you so much, Peter. That was amazing. So BJ Ward and Stephen Stanton are going to do something from Carousel of Progress. Because BJ is the voice of Mother in Carousel of Progress, and Stephen does an amazing Rex Allen. So we're going to let them do that right now.
Yes, sir. We got everything we need to make life easier. Say, Mother, I was reading about a fella named Tom Edison who's working on an idea for snap-on electric lights.
Electric lights? No more kerosene? No more smelly gas?
Sarah sure gets to the core of the apple.
But we do have to take this new wash day marvel. Now it takes me only 5 hours to do the wash. Imagine, it used to take 2 days.
That's right, folks. Now Sarah has time for other things like
Canning and cleaning the oven.
yes, dear.
Ovens don't just clean themselves, you know.
I know, dear, and they probably never will.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get the laundry off the line before it starts raining cats and dogs.
Now, don't worry, Rover, she didn't mean dogs. Besides, it's not going to rain today. My lumbago isn't acting up.
I'm not going to say I told you so.
Boy, look at it come down. All you have to do is put your wash on the line. Oh well, the cistern was low anyway.
We should also bring that back to Disneyland, but I digress. Yeah. Fabio?
Yes, I have here, imagine this is
That's you. It's Fabio will now do a live reading from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, here we go. Bienvenidos, marineros. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados con las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del barco y cuide a los niños por orden del capitán. No se permite tomar fotos con flash durante el viaje y ahora prepárense para zarpar.
Mark Silverman will now do a reading from Tower of Terror.
But I'm going to read it like Fabio. The time is now, on an evening very much. The time is now, on an evening very much like the one we've just witnessed. Tonight's story in the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a maintenance service elevator. Still in operation waiting for you.
We invite you, if you dare, to step aboard because in tonight's episode, you are the star. And this elevator travels directly to the Twilight Zone.
So Stephen, other than playing the dog in our last sketch, which we really, and the rain, that was pretty good.
It took 5 workshops to learn how to do that.
Steve is also the voice of Scuttle in the Little Mermaid attraction. Which you will now do that.
Like I said, the story all started when Ariel fell head over fins in love. Oh wait, it started when King Triton asked Sebastian to keep an eye on Ariel because she kept swimming up to the surface to get a look. Wait, you know, now that I think about it, it really started when Ariel made a deal with Ursula and lost her voice. Whoa, this story's getting away from me.
Now Yeni Alveraz, I told you, does a whole lot of attractions for us, but my favorite is the parking lot trams. I just can't.
Oh, yes.
Would you do the parking lot tram live dramatically?
Of course I would.
Thank you.
Para su seguridad, por favor, permanezcan sentados con las puertas cerradas, manteniendo sus manos, brazos, pies y piernas adentro, mientras el tranvía esté en movimiento. Y vigilen a sus niños. Gracias. Now you have to do it in Spanish.
These days, everything is last second.
So I want you to know, he didn't know he was doing this. Corey is going to, in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you know the pirate that is the poop pirate that sits next to where there's a barrel and Jack Sparrow's coming out of it? Well, that's Corey. Corey, would you please do the poop pirate for us?
All right, then. No mistake it be that coveted treasure that my holds. Favor, see to it that wretched Captain Jack Sparrow never lays eyes on it, eh? Nor this proper key neither. 'Tis right clever I be. Search all you care, Captain Jack Sparrow. You'll not find your wealth of treasure unless this here map be handy, nor likely breach that treasure room missing this very key.
Is that drunk enough?
Somebody's bowing.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you, Corey. That was you can keep the clipboard. That's for you.
I'll treasure.
Thank you.
Treasure.
So do you remember Electronica a couple of years ago in California? So yeah, bring it back. Okay, we'll do that too. Got it. So I took Camille, we took Camille out of her Camille Dixon sweet voice, and she played the siren. So she will now do a reading as the siren from Tron.
Greetings, programs. Before our presentation begins, I'd like to remind you that since this is an exclusive sneak peek, audio and video recording of this experience are not permitted. In addition, there is no eating, drinking, or flash photography in the theater. If for any reason you need to leave the theater during the presentation, please go to the exit doors to your right, where a cast member will assist you. And now, programs. Please put on your 3D glasses as Electronica presents our exclusive sneak peek of Tron Legacy.
Now, I have to confess something to you. To find copy for Bill, he actually gave me something. And because I'm the kind of person I didn't give him that to read. I found the hardest piece of copy I could find, and I handed it to him about 10 minutes ago.
There you go.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just a few minutes, you will experience one of the most unique pageants presented anywhere in the world, the Main Street Electrical Parade. Disney's most memorable film classics in over 500,000 colorful twinkling lights. Powered entirely by batteries, some of the brilliant parade units measure over 23 feet in height and over 100 feet in length, and together stretch for almost 1/4 of a mile. Each parade unit sets its own musical atmosphere by interweaving synchronized, electronically synthesized, familiar Disney melodies with the continuous electrical parade theme and electro-synthematic musical sound.
Yeah, you really. So now I got 4 things I got to bring back. Okay, that was fantastic. I really thought I'd get you with that one, Bill. Well, we're almost ready to wrap it up, folks. We are going to have the panel downstairs in the talent roundup area afterwards. So don't rush us. I'm going to take them out that way. They're going to be down there starting at 3:30 for an hour if you want to come by and get autographs, pictures, or whatever. I have nothing left to say to you people except you're fantastic and I am blessed.